You are going to introduce yourself, sir, to us.
Okay, are we on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my name is Aloy Ejimakor. For those that are not familiar with me, I'm the special counsel to the indigenous people of Biafra and its leader, its supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is my colleague, Barrister Prince Mandela Ome.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, we would like to know the outcome of today's court, at least starting from what transpired in the court.
Well, what transpired was very clear. Unfortunately, you were not in court, but I can make it clear, break it down for your viewers. The application that was decided today was the application made on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for bail. That application, unfortunately, was denied. I'm not happy. If you look at me very well, you can see I'm not happy. It's a very dark day in the history of this case since it began June last year. I'm not happy because he qualified for reinstatement of his bail. What happened to him in September 2017 will live in infamy. Everybody's aware that the armed forces were out for his life, and that was why he skipped town. That was why he took a flight of safety. To jump bail requires some element of voluntariness. It's a volitional conduct, a predetermination by somebody facing trial that I'm not going to come to court, I'm going to run away. But something happened. That thing that happened in 2017 qualified for excusing his absence or his inability to appear to take his trial until last year when he was renditioned in Kenya. So, and there is this additional factor going for him as well. I took this matter to the High Court of Omaya, and there is a judicial pronouncement, a subsisting standing judicial pronouncement requiring federal government to pay him 1 billion naira, even though that's not enough, but at least that's a judgment of the court, and also requiring federal government to apologize to him for what happened in September 2017. Somebody that deserves an apology and compensation for the attempt on his life and the flagrant violation of his constitutional rights is the same person they are saying jumped bail for the same reason, for the same event. It's an oxymoron. It's mutually contradictory to say so. So I have. I'm speaking with utter disappointment. I couldn't believe it. I was counting on a judicial, and fair determination of that application today, but it didn't happen. However, there is still a window. The judge made it clear on the record that she's open to reconsidering bail if a new application is brought forward. So maybe defense will go back and retool and come forward with a new application or decide to take the matter straight to appeal. I think the factor that would determine which course of action to take will be the one that will be in the best interest of our client, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So that's where we are.
All right, sir. Sir, you mentioned that the judge said that the case was not brought forward. I mean, what happened
Yes.
at the home of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not brought forward to her. Does it mean that the judge was not briefed based on the judgment of Omaya?
Well, what the judge was saying is that no processes were filed, no applications were brought before her court in 2017 to explain why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not attend his trial. If you recall, his next trial date before Python Dance happened was, I think, October 20th, 2017. And Python Dance happened between September 10 and September 14, 2017. So the judge seems to be saying that an application should have been brought before her court at that time. That it's to explain why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not come to court. court. That this is what the judge was saying. She had made comments about the Woman Hair judgment previously, and what she was saying to that judgment is that, well, it's a judgment of a court of coordinate jurisdiction, that she is not bound by the judgment. Well, that is a correct statement of the law, but she should be persuaded by the judgment, because the point before her, or the material issue before her, is the same material issue that was decided by the High Court of Omaya. So a judge that wanted to do the right thing by the law and by the facts of the case would have been persuaded on all fours by that judgment of Omaya High Court.
Okay, sir, as it stands now, can you please tell our viewers the actual case that is to take place on November 14th?
Well, it is for mention. What happened again in court today that I did not mention initially was that the judge granted the application for stay of proceedings pending appeal. Stay of proceedings pending appeal. There is an appeal pending challenging the jurisdiction, the authority of the court to proceed with this case. The argument then was that the extraordinary rendition destroyed the ability of the court to try this case. So unfortunately, the court disagreed, so the matter was appealed. So today, the same issue was raised before the judge that, listen, the case is on appeal, and if the case is on appeal, the court should not proceed with trial of the case. And the court agreed and granted a stay. So what is going to happen on November 13th this year is for the mention of the case to find out what has happened in the Court of Appeal.
Okay, sir. So please, can you still elaborate, or will I say step it down so that in a way our viewers will understand the case that is at the appeal? You know, a lot of people do not understand the actual case that is before the appeal now. You know, we want you to just break it down lower.
Okay. Now, the authority of the court to try this case, authority of a court to try a case is commonly known as jurisdiction. That authority was challenged in a motion that included other ancillary issues, such as, the charges could not stand in law. But the case in chief was the extraordinary rendition that brought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before the court. The proper procedure for bringing a foreign fugitive before a domestic court or a municipal court is extradition, not rendition. Rendition, therefore, will destroy the authority, the standing, the authority of that court to take that case and subject that fugitive to trial. That was the case in chief that was made before the High Court. But the High Court said no, that they wouldn't listen to that. The court didn't give a lot of explanations or reasons why it wouldn't. But the bottom line is that it denied the application, and that denial is what is pending before the Court of Appeal.
Alright, sir. So as it stands now, sir, the case at Umuahia Court, we learned that we have another case at the High Court Umuahia.
Yes.
So Biafrans will also want to know which case actually is still pending there.
Well, what is pending there is still the extraordinary rendition, because extraordinary rendition is akin to unlawful expulsion. So that aspect of that case was before the State High Court, but the State High Court declined jurisdiction over that, because extradition and every other thing related to it is by the provisions of Nigerian Constitution within the exclusive jurisdiction of Federal High Court. That is why I took the matter straight in Federal High Court, Umuahia Division. So that is what is pending there, to determine whether that extradition that happened to Nnamdi Kanu can stand in law. My argument is that it shouldn't. But there should be a judicial pronouncement. That is why it is before the court.
Okay, sir. Sir, before the November 14th, November 13th court is brought forth, and do you have the right to sue for or to apply for another bail application for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu before then, or is it after that November 13th court case that you have the right to put forward another bail application?
Well, the judge actually left the window open So it will be a matter of strategic consideration whether such steps should be taken or not. But she did say on the record that she left open the option to consider bail again if such application is brought forward.
Alright, sir. Thank you very much, sir. But lastly, we wanted to encourage Biafrans, give
Well, the
them the
encouragement I can give you is to stand on what your leader, my leader, everybody's leader, said today in open court. He encouraged everybody to stay calm and to keep the peace and not to turn the homeland, the Biafra land, Eastern Nigeria, former Eastern Nigeria, into a war zone. That IPOB set out to fight for self-determination of former Eastern Nigeria will be a contradiction that the same IPOB will be seen to traducing the people of Eastern Nigeria. So he has noted that there has been a bit of infiltration of people that have done very bad things in the IPOB. So what you seem to be saying in that video, which was muffled, it didn't come out quite clear, but I was standing by him, was that the criminality that you see in Southeast today is not of IPOB. He condemned it in clear terms, and he advised that everybody should toe the line and keep the code of conduct in which he set up IPOB as a non-violent movement committed to self-determination for the people of Eastern Nigeria. That's what he said today in open court, and I stand by him.
Thank you very much, sir. That you would know if your colleague, Mr. Mandela, has anything to add.
Actually, based on what my learned and senior colleague have just said, it is quite disheartening that today what we expected was below of what every Biafran, every followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu expected, because of denial of the bail today. Ordinarily, it shouldn't have been, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu qualifies to be granted bail based on what happened to him in 2017 at his hometown of Aroku. On that ground, the courts earlier before now demanded to know what actually transpired, what happened, why he could not come to court as stated then in 2017. And actually, the same case was brought to Abia State High Court, which court at Abia State now decided that this man didn't jump gun, rather he escaped for his dear life. So ordinarily today we expected that today's court, the court should have granted, but based on what happened to him, but the reverse is the case. So actually we are not very much happy, but we still have options to follow, to pursue, in order to make sure that we get his freedom, get his release by the legal means.
Thank you, sir. Sir, please, can you still introduce yourself again?
My name is Prince Mandela. I was a member of the legal team of Mazi Nnamdi.